Xian. Don't cry. With a hoarse voice, Su Yu comforted Xianer. Brother Su Yu, father has. Xianer threw herself onto Su Yu and cried loudly as she hugged him. Su Yu's eyes were wet, and he said while sobbing, don't cry. If father knows about this in the netherworld and even sees you crying, he will be unable to rest in peace. Xianer used her small hands to rub her red and swollen eyes, trying her best not to cry. However, her efforts were useless as tears continued to flow. Father is gone, Xianer no longer has a father. This was the first time in her life that Xianer had ever felt loneliness, fear and helplessness in her heart. Su Yu embraced her with love and lightly caressed her head. Xianer, you still have me. I will always be by your side. She felt great warmth in her heart. Xianer raised her head and used her eyes, which seemed to have matured overnight, to carefully measure her fiancé's loyalty. He had a pair of firm eyes filled with warmth, composed and comforting, and a shocking, scabbed face. Xianer bit her lip, extended her hands and meticulously removed the scab. Every time she removed a piece of scab, her heart will hurt slightly more, and she would shed another tear. All the blood was shed for her sake. Xianer, you. Su Yu did not understand why, but he felt that Xianer had a new feeling that she never felt towards him before. In the past, Xianer had been willful and playful. Su Yu was probably a playmate who she was familiar with. After going through a big change in her life, she seemed to have become more mature. Brother Su Yu. Xianer suddenly hugged Su Yu with all her strength, as though she was afraid that Su Yu would leave her the very next moment. With the death of her father, even though Su Yu was her fiancé for only one day, he was her only close relative left. Having felt Xianer's petite body trembling, Su Yu patted her back lightly. At that moment, there was no need for words, Su Yu had already felt Xianer's intentions. Both of them were embracing one another silently. After going through a big ordeal, both their hearts had gradually united with one another. After a long time, Xianer finally stopped sobbing and her small head moved for a bit on Su Yu's chest. She then raised her head, and with a thread of embarrassment in her red and swollen eyes, she said, I want to be brother Su Yu's bride, forever, and ever. Su Yu bowed his head, tapped her forehead and with his heart full of love said, you will forever be my bride. Xianer's face turned red. Relieved, she leaned against Su Yu's chest. After she lost her father, she had managed to find another person who she could depend on. When Senior Qin returned with the medicinal materials and witnessed that scene, his expression became complex. He silently prepared a medicine to treat Su Yu's injuries. After which, Xianer rushed ahead of Senior Qin to apply the medicine. Xianer, who in the past only knew how to play around, was acting like a good wife and loving mother. She meticulously took care of Su Yu, her face full of satisfaction. After half a day, Su Yu had gotten plenty of rest. Senior Qin leisurely said, Young Princess and Su Yu, upon the last order of the Duke of Shanyu, I will bring both you out of the Fenggalan Empire and we will head towards the Fenghuang Empire where the young princess's mother is. Over there will be members of the young princess's mother's clan who can take good care of her. Let's prepare to leave now. The young princess's mother was actually someone from the Fenghuang Empire. Su Yu recalled that at the neck of the young princess, there was a nine-tailed seal of Fenghuang. He then understood the connection between the young princess and Fenghuang Empire. The first prince and his group of people had arrested the Duke of Shanyu for treason, and the arrest was made based on groundless accusations. The Duke of Shanyu's treason offense was just an excuse. The real reason he was arrested was due to his connections with other countries. Why did Su Yu and Qin Xianer have to leave the Fenggalan Empire and escape to another country? Su Yu's eyes were filled with coldness. Senior Qin, you bring Xianer to the Fenghuang Empire, I will stay. There needs to be someone to take revenge for the Duke of Shanyu. If Su Yu did not kill the first prince, he would never be a man. Senior Qin sighed, let me ask you, how are you going to take revenge? The first prince lives in the deepest part of the imperial palace and has several tens of thousands of strong subordinates. Are you going to be able to fight an endless stream of strong martial artists to reach him? The power of one martial artist alone is unable to compete with the whole of the Fenggalan Empire. The first prince holds a very high position, if you see him as an enemy, it would mean seeing the Fengalan Empire as an enemy. Even if you are a strong martial artist of level 9, it would be difficult for you to fight against the whole empire. Senior Qin's words were sincere and meaningful. Su Yu's conviction remained unchanged. It will never be too late for me to take revenge, even after 10 years. If I cannot take revenge the next day, what about 1 year later, 10 years later, or even when I am on death's door? There will surely come a day when I will get my revenge. Senior Qin was moved. He realized that Su Yu valued relationships and gratitude. Su Yu remembered the gratitude he had towards the Duke of Shanyu and was willing to repay him for his whole life. Senior Qin could not bear to see such an outstanding person be obsessed with revenge for his whole life, as it would be a waste. After some time, he sighed, there is actually a way for you to take your revenge. However, the chances are very uncertain. Senior Qin, please advise me. Su Yu was moved. Senior Qin pointed to the holy seal which was in between Su Yu's eyebrows. This is it. Su Yu did not understand. The Holy Order only gives one the right to participate in the holy meat. How will it deal a shock to the Fengalan Empire? The Holy Order cannot do it. However, what about the Holy King? Senior Qin's eyes were filled with respect. Holy King. There was a well-known legend that the Holy King had decided to use his power to change the royal family of the Fengalan Empire. If it were him, it would be more than sufficient to deal a shock to Fengalan Empire. However, how would Su Yu obtain the help of the Holy King? There is actually another meaning behind you participating in the holy meat. The holy meat is a fight to determine who is worthy to become a sanctuary disciple. If you are able to fight your way up to the top 10, you will have a great chance of becoming a sanctuary disciple. What? Holy disciple? Su Yu was moved. The master of the sanctuary was the Holy King. If he became a holy disciple, wouldn't he have a chance to meet the Holy King face to face? When the Holy King agreed, Su Yu would have successfully taken his revenge. Moreover, if you are able to grab the first position in the holy meat, you will have the chance to get the Holy King to fulfill one of your wishes. There are no limitations to the wish. Senior Qin's eyes were shining. The implication behind his words was that Su Yu could wish for the Holy King to eliminate the first prince. Su Yu clenched his fists. That's good. In the holy meat, I, Su Yu, will attain the first position and exterminate the first prince. Senior Qin did not have any high hopes for Su Yu. He lightly shook his head. The holy meat will be held in 10 days. With your level of abilities, you might not even get into the top 30. In the past, Bai Shishong, who was at level 6 lower tier of the martial path, could only harbor a grievance when he did not get into the top 10. As for Su Yu, it was still difficult for him to defeat someone of level 5 peak of the martial path. There was absolutely no chance of him getting the first position. Moreover, Senior Qin sighed sincerely. Moreover, with the talents that you displayed, the first prince would not allow you to live. If you stayed in the Fengalan Empire, there would be many people looking to kill you. Why don't you follow me to the Fenghuang Empire, where I can keep you safe for your lifetime? Su Yu became silent for a short while. However, his burning desire for revenge had not been extinguished. The debt of gratitude to my father is as weighty as a mountain, and he treated me as though I was his biological son. Let me ask you then, as his son, how can I not avenge my father? Su Yu clenched his fists. Xian'er grabbed Su Yu's sleeve. Even though her eyes were filled with tears, she was firm and full of hatred. Brother Su Yu, let me stay with you. I also want to avenge my father. As Su Yu patted her small head, he lightly shook his head. No, Xian'er, I alone am more than enough. Between the both of us, one of us has to stay alive. If not, we will disappoint father, especially since he sacrificed himself to save us. The trip would be fraught with grim possibilities. Letting Su Yu alone take the risk would be more than enough, and there was no need to drag Xian'er down with him. No. I am brother Su Yu's bride and I will stay with you even if I were to die. Xian'er was stubborn. She had already lost her father, she could not afford to lose Su Yu as well. With Su Yu's palm, he abruptly hit Xian'er on her neck, causing her to fall towards his chest. Su Yu withdrew his palm. He leaned his head against her forehead with love and said with a soft voice, Xian'er, please live on happily. After saying that, Su Yu left her with Senior Qin and expressed his thanks with a bow. Senior Qin, thank you for the trouble. Senior Qin's expression was complicated. He then sighed, with a son-in-law like you, the Duke of Shanyu can rest in peace. Please look out for yourself. As for the young princess, I will bring her to the Fenghuang Empire. If you want to visit her one day, bring along this token and come to the Fenghuang Valley. Senior Qin threw him a phoenix-shaped token. There were still mixed feelings in Senior Qin's eyes. With signs of hesitation, he reminded Su Yu, however, if your cultivation base is not strong enough, do not come. You would only invite trouble for yourself. Su Yu was in awe. What kind of land was the Fenghuang Valley that Senior Qin had to go out of his way to warn him? Senior Qin carried the unconscious young princess and disappeared into the forest. Su Yu carefully kept his token and continued to recuperate from his injuries. Although his injuries were serious, with his strong body, the effects of the holy order and the medicinal herbs made by Senior Qin, he recovered quickly. After 2 days, most of Su Yu's injuries were healed. Suddenly, when he opened his eyes, he saw a bright and shiny light. He felt a very strong inner strength overflowing in all his limbs and bones, many times greater than that of a level 4 upper tier. As he practiced his fists, he could hear a crackling and rattling noise coming out from his body. This is indeed profiting from a misfortune. By suffering a few fatal injuries, the accumulation of the medical power of the jade fire marrow within my body has started to take effect, allowing my cultivation base to make a breakthrough to the next tier. When Su Yu felt the cultivation base of level 4 peak, he was overjoyed. As the holy meet was nearing, it was very important for his cultivation base to go up a tier. If I were to meet the first prince again under conditions where I must fight alone, I would have the power to fight. Su Yu's eyes were full of murderous intent. If Su Yu did not kill the first prince in his lifetime, he would be unable to die in peace. Rustle. Su Yu's ears shivered a little as he heard a soft and peculiar noise. That noise did not belong to the animals in the forest. Rather, it belonged to humans who were moving very quickly. With a grave expression, Su Yu started to look around. He then silently left the cave and activated Shadow Cloud. As though he were the shadow of white clouds, Su Yu abruptly leapt to a location about 1 mile away from the cave and hid himself in a crack behind a rock. His pupils gradually turned crystalline and with his strong eyesight, he could observe the cave, which was 1 mile away, clearly. A patch of grass, a tree, an insect and a bird, they all seemed as though they were right in front of Su Yu. 3 middle-aged men dressed like hunters were sneakily getting closer to the cave. They stationed themselves at a location 200 meters away from a thick clump of grass, not moving a slight bit. The leading middle-aged man had a scar between his eyebrows and he had attained a frightening level 5 peak. To his sides were 2 young men who were at level 5 upper tier. When combined, they could wipe out anyone who was below level 6. Su Yu laughed coldly. How could strong level 5 martial artists be satisfied with being hunters? Without question, they were definitely sent by the first prince to assassinate Su Yu. A few days ago, Senior Qin had escaped hurriedly and it was hard to avoid leaving behind any traces. Hence, 2 days was more than enough for the pursuing troops to locate them. Since Su Yu had the holy seal on his head, even if the first prince had the guts, he would not kill Su Yu openly. By secretly assassinating Su Yu, the first prince would be able to resolve the matter once and for all. Bodyguard Chen, what should we do now? The hunters on the sides were very experienced and vicious, using their eyes to transmit the message to the leading middle-aged man. Bodyguard Chen, who was at level 5 peak, was indeed the leader of the group. The 3 of them were actually Duke Qin's escorts when he attended the marriage ceremony of the Duke of Shanyu's daughter. 2 days ago, they were secretly ordered to assassinate Su Yu. Initially, their faces turned pale with fright. However, when Duke Qin promised them something that they could not resist, they decided to take a risk and assassinate Su Yu. They knew that their lives were at risk. If Su Yu did not die, they would die. Anyone who dared to lay his hands a holy seal bearer would be unable to escape death. Bodyguard Chen's scar between his eyebrows wriggled and his ferocious eyes started to examine the surroundings. There are no animals near the vicinity of this cave, meaning that someone's aura is inside the cave and the wild beasts dared not to approach it. The footprints near the entrance are still fresh, meaning that there was still someone here a short time ago. I deduce that they are either still in the cave, or they just recently left. Bodyguard Chen had extensive experience. By examining the surroundings once, he was able to come up with a deduction that was close to the truth. The both of you will secretly watch the cave and I will return to inform Lord Bai Shishang. Bodyguard Chen passed the message softly. Like a green snake in the grass, he moved meticulously and returned back using the path he came from. With Senior Qin, who was at level 7 of the martial path, relying on Bodyguard Chen and the 2 other bodyguards, who were at level 5 upper tier, would be insufficient to kill Su Yu. After ensuring that everything had gone well, the first prince would secretly order Bai Shishang to support from the sidelines with a gift he had given Bai Shishang. The treasure could release an attack from someone of level 7 peak of the martial path. Bai Shishang would even kill Senior Qin if he needed to. As for the 2 strong martial artists at level 5 upper tier, they stayed behind to watch the cave. Both of them concentrated their attention on the cave and were like a cheetah's, lying dormant. Their eyes were sharp and full of vigor, not moving the slightest bit. A few minutes passed. Whiz. Suddenly, their situation changed. The air contained a cold current in cylindrical form. Suddenly, a sharp iron arrow pierced through the mist in the forest and headed straight for them. A surprise attack. The 2 bodyguards had amazing hearing abilities. They turned around and gasped in astonishment. Behind them, about 100 meters away, a young man wearing a red robe had strangely appeared, although he had been there for quite some time. He wore a jade crown over his black hair and was as handsome as a fairy. He stood proudly on the old trees, overlooking the 2 bodyguards. His cold, vast and starry eyes, which seemed to shine forever like the stars in the sky, were filled with murderous intent. His hands were holding a scarlet bow. In imminent peril, the hunter to the left took out a knife from his waist and used its blade to block the arrow. It's Su Yu. The 2 hunters' faces turned pale with fright. They looked at one another and outflanked Su Yu on both sides simultaneously. Be careful, it is said that he is a holy decree comprehender. We will split up and launch a pincer attack on him, not giving him a chance to make his move. Su Yu's cold eyes were full of murderous intent. His red shirt was fluttering and his hair was in a frenzied dance. He jumped down from the tree and touched the ground lightly, as if he was a goose feather was falling from a tree. The 2 hunters launched a surprise attack from Su Yu's left and right with overwhelming deadly intent. Su Yu stood calmly at his position. He was absolutely still and had no intentions of escaping. When the 2 hunters came within 10 jong of his radius, Su Yu slowly opened his dark and deep eyes. Diabolic sword. Su Yu drew an invisible sword which glittered in the dark. The invisible sword passed through the void, cutting the left hunter's head. The hunter held his head in suffering and screamed, causing a mournful shriek to echo in the mountainous forest. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Su Yu took huge strides. His silhouette moved as fast as a powerful current, resulting in a series of fragmented shadows moving towards the left hunter's body. The heavenly finger. Su Yu raised his finger up high, and as though his body had become one with nature, he struck his finger downwards. As the left hunter suffered pain in his soul, he lost his will to defend himself. With Su Yu's attack, a bloody cut opened up in his chest. With a miserable scream, the left hunter's chest exploded, causing him to die. As for the remaining strong martial artist on the right, his pupils shrunk abruptly and his heart was beating violently. He bit his teeth, turned around and started to flee. It was impossible for him to kill Su Yu by himself, and if he tried, he might end up being suppressed instead. Su Yu did not go after him. After all, Shadow Cloud was a basic level cultivation technique. Even though it had reached stage 3 top class, it could only increase his speed to match someone at level 4 peak, making it impossible for Su Yu to catch up to the hunter. What was more crucial to Su Yu was that there were still other people in the forest. He needed to withdraw quickly to prevent himself from being surrounded by strong martial artists. He turned his body around and plundered the left hunter's belongings. He took tails of silver, food and a coat which was made from the skin of wild beasts. When the catastrophe struck at the Duke of Shanyu's palace, Su Yu and Senior Qin escaped hurriedly. Therefore, they did not have a single penny on them. After roughly confirming the direction of the imperial capital, Su Yu left, passing through the forest quickly, making a beeline for the imperial capital. His only chance for revenge was to get to the imperial capital and participate in the holy meet. After half a day, bodyguard Chen and the escaped hunter, accompanied by a masked man, returned to the battle site where Su Yu killed the hunter. Although that man's face could not be seen clearly, one could tell that his figure belonged to Bai Shishang, the strong and frightening martial artist who was at level 6 peak. Elder, taels of silver, food and his clothing had been plundered. Once Su Yu enters the city and disguises himself, it will be difficult to catch him. Bodyguard Chen had a grave expression. Killing a holy seal bearer was considered a heinous crime. As long as Su Yu continued to live, he would continue to feel uneasy as well. You try to act smart. Bai Shishang sneered. How could someone not prepare for tracking someone in the mountainous forest? Bai Shishang had brought a hound with him. He had the hound sniff the dead body so that it would be familiar with its scent. By stealing the clothes off the dead man, Su Yu had brought on his own destruction. The hound walked around the area for a while and confirmed the direction that Su Yu had headed. It was towards the imperial capital. Chase him. He has not gotten too far. With their speed equivalent to someone of level 5 peak, it would be difficult for Su Yu to escape his death. With the help of the hound, they kept close to one another and chased continuously. After escaping and following the scent for one day, both sides had been running for miles in the forest. Once they caught up to Su Yu, with Bai Shishang's frightening abilities, Su Yu would be unable to resist and would be killed on the spot. After 2 days, both sides were still escaping and following respectively. As the hound's barking became more distinct, it indicated that they were getting closer to Su Yu. Elder, Su Yu's escape route is very complicated. He changed his direction many times, like it had changed from fleeing towards the imperial capital to fleeing towards the Twilight Mountains, as though he did not plan out his escape route. After giving chase for 2.5 days, bodyguard Chen raised his suspicions. Bai Shishang did not fully understand Su Yu's actions. Since Su Yu knew that he was a target for assassination, he should head towards a population city. With many people watching them, Bai Shishang would be unable to act rashly. However, for him to escape into a remote and barren mountainous forest, where it was hard to find even a trace of humans, it implied that Su Yu was causing his own downfall. Could it be that he wants to hide within the mountainous forest? Bai Shishang suspected. Finally, after half a day, the hound stopped, dashed into a big stone cave and started to bark crazily. Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen's expressions turned to happiness. After 2.5 days, they had finally caught up to Su Yu. A muffled roar could be heard from the cave. A tall black shadow dashed out of the cave and threw itself towards Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen. It was a huge black bear, as tall as a normal person. HMPH. You are asking for death. Bodyguard Chen took out a long knife from his waist and cut off the black bear's head. The black bear collapsed onto the floor with a loud crash. Bai Shishang stared at the belly of the black bear, and his eyes turned cold. What a crafty kid. Bodyguard Chen's pupils shrunk and he turned serious. So that's why. He is indeed crafty. Tied on the black bear's belly was a coat made from the skin of wild beasts. It was the dead hunter's coat. They had thought that after Su Yu plundered taels of silver and food, he also took the hunter's coat with him to change out of his bright red robe, so that he could hide himself within the mountainous forest or disguise himself. However, who would have expected him to be so crafty? He deliberately took the hunter's coat with him and tied it to the belly of the black bear, predicting that Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen would rely on a hound's nose to track him. By tying the hunter's coat to the belly of the black bear, it became frightened and escaped deep into Twilight Mountains. That had completely misled Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen, leading them in the opposite direction. It seemed that from the very start, Su Yu had drafted out that plan to use as a safety precaution. To think that we have been tricked by the kid. Bai Shishang was furious. He turned around and started to walk in the opposite direction. Bodyguard Chen followed closely behind him. He then said with fear and anxiety, "Elder, what should we do now? We have lost him." In the vast and boundless mountainous forest, how would they locate Su Yu? Bai Shishang's eyes turned cold and he started to look around in all directions. Finally, he looked towards the direction of the imperial capital. Since he led us deep into the Twilight Mountains, then we will chase him in the opposite direction. Bodyguard Chen agreed. After 7 days, they stopped in front of a desert with a small stream. There was a pile of cold firewood that had been extinguished a long time ago lying beside the stream. There were also bits and pieces of fish bones scattered around. This firewood was extinguished a day ago. It is very rare to come across any humans here, hunters do not even come here. There is a high possibility that it was Su Yu, deduced bodyguard Chen after he twisted the remnant of the firewood and sniffed it. Bai Shishang's eyes were cold. Good. With our speed, we can catch up to him in half a day. Bodyguard Chen was still suspicious. Elder, if I do not remember wrongly, one can reach the imperial capital after passing through a mountain in front. If we do not intercept him at the mountain, then it will be difficult for us to lay our hands on him again. There were many eyes in the imperial capital, and the number of strong martial artists there were comparable to the number of clouds in the sky. Even if Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen were to take action in the middle of the quiet night, there was a high chance that they would be caught and exposed. Chase him. Feeling that the time was tight, Bai Shishang frowned and continued to give chase. Su Yu was extremely exhausted. During those 10 days, other than eating, the rest of the time was spent trying to escape. He had always used eating time to regain his energy. However, he was still short of energy and was extremely exhausted. When he thought about the assassins chasing after him, Su Yu did not dare to relax the slightest bit. After climbing up to the peak of a mountain with some difficulty, Su Yu looked at his surroundings. He could see thick picturesque forests and flatlands in the distance. The land was covered with rivers and green vegetation with a surprisingly refreshing breeze. In the distance, there was a majestic and huge city. It was covered by mist and it looked as though a huge monster had appeared. The imperial capital. Su Yu was delighted. He had been walking towards the direction of the imperial capital and after 10 days, he finally reached his destination. Thankfully, the border between the Shanyu prefecture and the imperial capital was not very far. Since the Shanyu prefecture was as big as all of China, if Su Yu wanted to cut across it, it would require many months of traveling. With his destination right in front of him, Su Yu's heart felt relaxed but his body's fatigue had started to take its toll on him. He was very exhausted, to the point that he could collapse at any moment. He then pinched a part of his leg to make himself feel the pain, causing him to feel slightly more awake. Before he descended from the mountain, Su Yu hid himself and looked back to check out the situation of his pursuers. Initially, he was just doing a random check. However, as his eyes searched, the sight made his heart beat violently. Bodyguard Chen and a masked young man were approaching quickly. Although they were 2 miles away, to Su Yu, it was as if they were right in front of him. Bai Shishang used a mask to cover his face. However, even without the mask, Su Yu could still recognize him even if he turned to dust. 2 miles was a relatively short distance and they would chase up in a few minutes. Without hesitation, Su Yu descended the mountain wildly and ran towards the flatland. As he descended the mountain, he used his pupils to scan the area to see if there were any places that he could hide himself in. Suddenly, he found that at the shore of the big river, there was a group of people camping. There were dozens of people split into about 7 or 8 tents. His eyes shone and Su Yu quickly descended from the mountain. After 2 minutes, Su Yu turned his head and looked behind him. He saw Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen climbing up to the peak of the mountain. He could not wait anymore. Before he was discovered, Su Yu chose to blend in with the people and secretly enter the tent that was closest to the river. At that moment, Bai Shishang and bodyguard Chen arrived at the peak of the mountain. Their eyesight was not as strong as Su Yu. Hence, they did not discover their target hiding inside the tent. Using the small gaps in the tent, Su Yu observed the expression of them, about 2 miles away. After confirming that their expressions were not unusual, he heaved a sigh of relief. Feeling exhausted after running for so long, Su Yu sat down on the floor and meticulously examined the tent. The tent was set up temporarily, it was simple and crude with a red bed sheet red. There was a faint fragrance lingering in the tent, giving off the impression that the tent belonged to women. Indeed, that tent belonged to the females. I will stay here for a while. After Bai Shishong and his man are far away, I will leaving immediately. There were many people in the camp and Su Yu believed that Bai Shishong would not act rashly. If not, once the information spread around, not even heaven or earth would be able to save him. After running for so many days, Su Yu could finally catch his breath for a minute. However, it was difficult for him to resist his body's excessive fatigue. Feeling muddle-headed, Su Yu climbed on the embroidered bed and went under the blanket. His head felt heavy and he fell asleep straight away. Outside the tent, there was a graceful, beautiful and innocent lady. Her bright eyes were like water. She was refined, as though she did not belong to the human population. Instead, she was like a celestial beauty who had descended to this world. She had a pretty snow-white face, which was peaceful and indifferent to fame or gain. She had a pair of clear eyes that were filled with worries that could not be dispelled easily. Are you still worrying about Qin Xianer and Su Yu? Sha Lingxuan sighed, as he could no longer take the unpleasant look on his daughter's face. The huge change in the Shanyu prefecture had spread across the 13 other prefectures within 10 days. The Duke of Shanyu was captured while his daughter and son-in-law escaped. In the midst of it, Su Yu had become a holy seal bearer. The empire could not go after him for the time being. However, Qin Xianer was wanted by the empire and no one knew whether she was dead or alive. Sha Jingyu and Qin Xianer had been best friends since they were young. They were so close that they were like sisters. As for Su Yu, he was Sha Jingyu's close friend. Sha Jingyu had lost 2 of her best friends. How could she not be worried? Sha Jingyu looked back and forced a smile. The Duke of Shanyu had a premonition a long time ago and made arrangements for someone strong to help them escape. Thinking about it, there shouldn't be too many obstacles for them and you do not need to worry too much, Sha Lingxuan comforted her, no news means good news. Perhaps they already left the Fenghalan Empire and are now somewhere far away from the country. They left the country. Sha Jingyu felt delighted yet distressed. Her heart felt empty, and tears began to well up in her eyes. She may not get to see Xianer and Su Yu for the rest of her life. Are both of them doing well where they are? Feeling miserable, Sha Jingyu tried to cover up her tears. Father, I will go back to my room to rest. Sha Lingxuan said with love, yes, the sky is dark now. Take a good rest and tomorrow, we will enter the imperial capital. Yes, Sha Jingyu hung her head and entered the tent. Her morale was low, and she walked towards her bed. With the remaining light from the sky, she found that there was something unusual on her bed. When she looked at it, she found that there was someone sleeping there. She could not help but feel angry and embarrassed. Who was bold enough to sleep on her bed? Sha Jingyu was furious and embarrassed. She used her jade-like hands and lifted the blanket. There was someone who looked like a beggar, with ragged clothes and a shriveled body. However, when she saw the person's face, Sha Jingyu's eyes froze. Within her dense and snow-like eyes were feelings of astonishment, disbelief and confusion. Didn't Su Yu escape from the Fenghalan Empire? Why was he outside the imperial palace and on my bed? After quite some time, Sha Jingyu walked closer to her bed and confirmed that she was not seeing things. Su Yu was wearing his bridegroom suit from weeks ago. It's him. It's really him. Sha Jingyu breathed heavily, she could not believe her eyes. She could not contain the happiness in her heart. Her bleak look suddenly turned to that of vigor and cheerfulness. She turned her body and was about to go outside. Father, Su Yu. Rustle. Su Yu was half awake. Sha Jingyu's movements towards him had caused him to wake up slightly. Although his mind felt heavy, his train of thought was still there. He subconsciously grabbed Sha Jingyu's waist and his lips started to move. No. Danger. Someone is chasing me and they plan to kill me. After a few words, Su Yu went back into deep sleep. Sha Jingyu was shocked. Su Yu was a holy seal bearer, who would dare to kill him? She instantly understood the meaning behind Su Yu's words. There were people who wanted to kill him and if she revealed his whereabouts, his pursuers might kill their entire group to keep them quiet. If they were in the Shanyu prefecture, Sha Jingyu would not be worried. Her father was powerful and considered a legend in the Shanyu prefecture. However, they were near the imperial capital, where the number of strong martial artists was comparable to the number of clouds in the sky. Hence, it was difficult to anticipate how strong his pursuers were. She could not let anyone find out about Su Yu's location. A disaster would occur if the information was revealed. Sha Lingxuan had not gotten far from her daughter's tent. Upon hearing her daughter's strange voice, he hurriedly headed towards her. What happened? Sha Jingyu tried to cover up. Oh, it's nothing. I was just in low spirits. Father, please don't come in, I have removed my clothes. Sha Lingxuan, who had stretched out his hand to lift up the entrance of the tent, withdrew his hand. He could not help but sigh lightly. If nothing is wrong, then all is good. Heaven helps the worthy, you need not worry about Su Yu. I know, father. Sha Jingyu's heart was beating rapidly and her face was red like the evening glow. Hearing that her father's footsteps were far away, she heaved a sigh of relief. As she turned back and stared at Su Yu's face in deep sleep, indescribable happiness filled her heart and tears welled up in her eyes. Sha Jingyu whispered with a trembling voice, I thought that you had died. I did not expect myself to be able to see you again. A tear rolled down her cheek silently. As she stared at Su Yu, Sha Jingyu's heart was peaceful, warm and delighted. It was just like that day, amidst the pear blossom and the moonlight, Su Yu had held her hands and helped her comprehend the holy decree, where she was in another realm, galloping in the vast and boundless nature. But in reality, she was just leaning against his firm and steady chest. Even after a long time, she still could not forget the feeling of his chest, it was engraved in her heart. Even if many years had passed and Sha Jingyu had forgotten about heaven and earth, she would not forget the light from the full moon, the courtyard full of pear blossoms and the feelings she felt on his chest that night. After staring blankly for some time, Sha Jingyu realized that she had to prepare food and water for Su Yu. When she stood up, she realized that Su Yu was holding onto her waist tightly and refusing to let go. Her smooth lips revealed a soft smile. Sha Jingyu squatted at the edge of the bed and quietly stayed by his side. Outside the tent, Bai Shishong and bodyguard Chen had serious expressions on their faces. What a coincidence. The Martial Arts Training Institute in the Shanyu Prefecture is escorting the 10 demon students to the imperial capital to take part in the holy assessment. In the 13 prefectures, every training institute had the ability to send 10 of their strongest martial artists of the current generation to enter the imperial capital and participate in the holy meet. That meant that among the crowd, there were 10 holy seal bearers. Elder, it is not difficult to check if Su Yu is among the crowd. What will be difficult is deciding what to do if we do find him there. As bodyguard Chen's method of doing things was shrewd and ruthless, he looked far ahead. If he is not among the crowd, then all is good. We would just apologize to them. With the both of us, the Martial Arts Training Institute might not make things difficult. The bigger question is that if Su Yu is really among them, what should we do? If we take action, then it is impossible for them, especially Sha Lingxuan, to not notice us. However, if we do not take action now, then Su Yu will follow them into the imperial capital tomorrow, making it even harder for us to take action. Bai Shishong muttered to himself for some time and his eyes turned cold. What else is there to do? We will kill all of them. It is considered killing if we kill one or a group of holy seal bearers. With the jade pendant that the first prince gave me as a present, we can kill the whole group of them. Bodyguard Chen gasped. What a cruel and ruthless bodyguard the first prince had. Bodyguard Chen and Bai Shishong were like puppets. Naturally, both of them were at someone's bidding and were utterly obedient. After some time, Bai Shishong removed his mask, revealed his real identity and showed himself at the camp with bodyguard Chen. With the appearance of 2 strong martial artists, of levels 5 and 6, an uproar at the camp occurred immediately. Sha Lingxuan and Yizan immediately came to the scene. Sha Lingxuan's eyebrows wrinkled. Bodyguard Chen was not well known, so Sha Lingxuan did not recognize him. As for Bai Shishong, on the day the Duke of Shanyu was captured, he was clearly there as someone with the ability of level 6 peak of the martial path. How could Sha Lingxuan not recognize him? Bai Shishong, what do you intend to do by intruding upon my camp? Can it be that the first prince is plotting a rebellion against the state? Sha Lingxuan was unusually indignant against the Duke of Shanyu's encounter. His whole life, the Duke of Shanyu had been loyal to the sovereign, devoted to his country and always had a good reputation. However, he did not expect himself to get caught in the fight for imperial power, which caused deep trouble for him. The first prince's lackey had shown up at their camp. How was it possible for them to treat the first prince's lackey with a good attitude? Bai Shishong said coldly, I have received orders to capture the young princess. Moreover, we also received a secret tip that the training institute has been harboring her. I want to do a search of this area. Housemaster Shah, I suggest you let us through. Qin Xian'er was a criminal wanted by the Fengalin Empire. Anyone who harbored her would be punished, including Sha Lingxuan. Bai Shishong, have you forgotten the origins of the Martial Arts Training Institute? Sha Lingxuan's eyes gradually turned cold. The Martial Arts Training Institute was a subdivision of the sanctuary. In theory, the royal family did not have jurisdiction over it. Bai Shishong quietly took out a jade pendant which contained a level 7 peak attack. Sha Lingxuan's pupils shrunk, he was shocked. If Bai Shishong released the power of the jade pendant, everyone in the camp would be annihilated instantly, including Sha Lingxuan. Housemaster Sha, something strange is going on, Yi Zan whispered to Sha Lingxuan. Even though Bai Shishong knows that we are a subdivision of the sanctuary, he still dares to threaten us. I think he really has the intention to annihilate all of us. Sha Lingxuan nodded. He had also noticed that things were unusual, as Bai Shishong was too gutsy. After pondering for some time, Sha Lingxuan said coldly, Bai Shishong, I hope you understand what you are doing. Finally, Sha Lingxuan chose to compromise. It was fine if he died alone. However, he could not let the training institute's 10 demon students in the tents die as victims of injustice. He slowly opened up a path for the both of them. As Sha Lingxuan had never once hid Qin Xian'er, he had a clear conscience and was naturally unafraid of the search. Bai Shishong and bodyguard Chen worked together and thoroughly searched every tent one by one to ensure that there were no mistakes or omissions. This continued until right before they reached the last tent. Both of their expressions turned gloomy. Could it be that Su Yu did not blend in with them? Did he change his direction and escape to another city? As Bai Shishong was about to lift open the entrance of the last tent, Sha Lingxuan extended his hand and stopped him. This is a tent belonging to a lady. She retired for the day and I will not allow you to infringe upon her. Bodyguard Chen's eyes became narrow and Bai Shishong became vigilant. Could it be that Su Yu was inside the tent? Bai Shishong held the jade pendant on his chest tightly, ready to break at any moment and kill everyone, including Su Yu, on the spot. For some time, Sha Jingyu had been hearing the noises that were outside her tent, causing her heart to beat violently. Could it be that Su Yu's pursuers were outside? For her father to be unable to obstruct them, Su Yu's pursuers must be extremely strong. No, she could not let anyone find out about Su Yu's existence. Not only would she be in danger, the rest of the group would be in danger as well. However, the tent was simple and crude, allowing anyone to see everything clearly with one glance. There was no place to hide a person. Hearing footsteps approaching her tent quickly, Sha Jingyu's heart was full of anxiety. Suddenly, her face turned slightly red as though it was a red lotus after the rain had stopped, which was beautiful and elegant. With tears in her eyes, Sha Jingyu lifted the blanket and lay down on the bed. To prevent any traces of Su Yu being found, Sha Jingyu turned her body towards him to block him. After which, she covered herself properly with the blanket. Looking at it, under the blanket, there was a fairy sleeping on the bed. Rustle. At that moment, a nervous Bai Shishong lifted up the entrance of the tent. However, what he saw was the back of a sleeping lady. A disappointed expression overflowed from his eyes. However, a thought popped in his head. Could it be that Su Yu was on the bed? However, his thought disappeared with a flash. If she sacrificed herself for a man, then she would no longer be innocent. From the information that they had, Sha Jingyu and Su Yu were close to one another. However, they were not close enough for Sha Jingyu to sacrifice her innocence to save him. Bodyguard Chen looked inside the tent thoroughly and shook his head. The Martial Arts Training Institute had not hid Su Yu. From the looks of it, there was a high chance that Su Yu had changed his direction halfway through while he was escaping. Bodyguard Chen and Bai Shishong looked at one another, and under the furious eyes of Sha Lingxuan, they left angrily. Sha Lingxuan and Yi Zan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. When bodyguard Chen and Bai Shishong were checking Sha Jingyu's tent, Bai Shishong was clearly emitting a strong murderous intent which was directed at everyone in the camp. Sha Lingxuan and Yi Zan were afraid that something might happen. The activities happening outside the tent had finally caused Su Yu, who was in a deep sleep, to wake up a little. As he opened his eyes half-consciously, he could see a lady that was as beautiful as a fairy. She was familiar, exceptionally beautiful and extremely popular. However, the fairy's eyes were filled with tears. Her face was slightly red due to her shyness and feeling the pain from knowing that she had destroyed her own innocence. Senior Sha. Su Yu was startled, as though he had been in a dream. It was clear that as he was escaping from his pursuers, he became unconscious in a tent. Why was it that when he woke up, he saw was Sha Jingyu hugging him with tears in her eyes? Hearing a sound, Sha Jingyu realized that Su Yu had regained conscious and her face turned completely red. "You, do not look," Sha Jingyu said softly with her face full of tears, like pear blossom being carried by the rain, which could attract the love of many people. "It's all right now." Sha Jingyu wore her clothes properly. Her black hair was slightly messy. "Senior Sha, what happened? Why did you?" Su Yu was still greatly exhausted. However, he endured his sleepiness and asked Sha Jingyu with an uneasy feeling in his heart. Sha Jingyu's clear eyes were calm and she lightly shook her head. "Bai Shishong came by just now. In order to keep you safe, I had to use that expedient measure. You need not take it to heart." Su Yu was a smooth and slick person. From Sha Jingyu's words, he understood the whole process. Su Yu's heart trembled violently and he looked at Sha Jingyu with low spirits. No need to take it to heart. How was it possible for him to not take it to heart? In order to protect him, Sha Jingyu, a maiden, actually sacrificed her innocence. To a lady, sacrificing her own innocence was a very serious matter, which was clear by the tears in her eyes. In the Shenyu continent, there were strict rules of etiquette. In giving and receiving, man and woman must not touch one another. These rules were a lot stricter compared to Earth. To catch Su Yu, who destroyed his daughter's innocence, the Duke of Shanyu ordered a search of the whole city without hesitation and made a huge fuss out of it. Indeed, it could be clearly seen that the people in his world regarded chastity very highly. Moreover, Sha Jingyu was noble and extremely innocent. Whatever happened on that day might cause Sha Jingyu to forever experience the humiliation of being sullied. When the demon students in the Martial Arts Training Institute found out how Su Yu escaped from Bai Shishong and bodyguard Chen, Sha Jingyu's reputation would be destroyed instantly. Sha Jingyu was noble and extremely innocent. In order to remain innocent, she would not even allow Fang Qingzhou to touch her, even if she had to commit suicide. Yet she willingly used her jade-like body to hug Su Yu. Senior Sha. Su Yu was normally as calm as nature. However, his mind turned blank. In his previous life, if he had any misunderstandings with a woman, he could use sweet words to make them happy and use the opportunity to shake them off. However, he could not do that to Sha Jingyu, as she sacrificed her innocence to save him. If he did not have Qin Xianer as his fiancée, he would have been brave and taken responsibility for Sha Jingyu. However, Qin Xianer was already his fiancée. Qin Xianer had lost her father and could not afford to lose her only fiancé. Sha Jingyu wiped her red and swollen eyes. On her snow-like skin, there were still remnants of the last evening light, which was dim like an autumn lotus in a pool during winter, full of charm and cold at the same time. No need to take it to heart. It was just an expedient measure to save Su Yu. Sha Jingyu repeated those lines in her heart, forcing herself to not think of the future. At that moment, footsteps could be heard from the outside. Can father enter?" Sha Jingyu's heart suddenly skipped a beat. She looked at Su Yu with a complicated look and said softly and helplessly, "Yes, I have woken up already." What she had to face, she would face eventually. It was impossible for her to hide the fact that Su Yu was in the tent. Sha Lingxuan was worried that his daughter was frightened and went inside the tent in a rush. However, what he saw was a man with a shriveled face, who looked like a beggar, sitting on her daughter's bed. As Sha Jingyu's father, he felt like he had been struck by lightning. Looking at him, he realized the boy was a young man with a very familiar face. Su Yu. Sha Lingxuan was surprised once again. Hadn't he been rescued by Senior Qin and gone somewhere far away from the Fenghalan Empire? Why was he there? However, he thought of another question that made him furious. If her daughter was sleeping on the bed naked, did that mean that Su Yu was with her on the bed? His daughter was noble and innocent. Sha Lingxuan strongly believed that she would not do anything that would bring dishonor to her family. Without a doubt, in order to protect Su Yu, Sha Jingyu pretended that she was asleep. However, at that moment, Su Yu was also on the bed, sharing it with her. Sha Lingxuan was extremely shocked. His daughter's innocence. After hearing the commotion, Yizan and a few of the demon students rushed to Sha Jingyu's tent. When they arrived at the scene, they were stunned. Sha Jingyu slept naked with Su Yu. The people outside Sha Jingyu's tent were dumbstruck. Feeling that many unusual eyes were staring at her, Sha Jingyu's face started to turn red. She, who was noble and innocent, could not stand all the unusual eyes staring at her. All of you are to get out. Sha Lingxuan was startled for some time. His eyes were gloomy like water, as though they were like a volcano that was about to erupt. Yizan immediately led the students away. As he was clever and vigilant, he greatly emphasized to the demon students not to spread the information of Su Yu in the tent. Once Bai Shishong noticed, he would break his jade pendant, which would cause all of them, including Su Yu, to perish together. However, it would be difficult to keep the secret for too long. Sha Lingxuan's cold eyes were filled with indescribable anger. As he looked at his daughter, he felt that what she did was not worthy. Moreover, he felt pain and anger within his heart. In order to save Su Yu, who she had not known for that long, did she need to sacrifice something so great? Now that everyone knew that his daughter had lost her chastity to Su Yu, even though they had not reached that stage yet, his daughter's good reputation was completely tarnished. What man would marry a lady who had slept naked with another man? When he finally glared at Su Yu, his heart was burning with anger. Even though he was extremely angry, he understood that the matter was not entirely Su Yu's fault. Unless Su Yu had no way out, he would not have escaped into the tent. Suppressing his anger, Sha Lingxuan said with a very low voice, Su Yu. Tell me, how are you going to settle this issue? Su Yu took a deep breath and said in an apologetic tone, I will leave it to Housemaster Sha to decide how to handle this issue. Understood. Sha Lingxuan thought to himself for a short while. Not allowing anyone to interfere, he said, there is only one way to maintain the good reputation of my daughter, and that is to marry her. Sha Jingyu's heart felt as though it had been struck by lightning. Her face turned red and she disagreed firmly, no, father. As Su Yu and Sha Jingyu had not known each other for very long, Sha Jingyu did not have many feelings for Su Yu, she only had good impressions of him. She was not prepared to marry Su Yu. HMPH. Do you still have a choice? We will let Su Yu decide for himself. Sha Lingxuan glared at his daughter. He resented her for not bringing credit to herself. If he did not use this opportunity to force Su Yu to marry his daughter, would his daughter have the reputation to be able to marry other men in the future? Of course, with his daughter's exceptional looks, there would be many men laying their eyes on her and it would not be difficult for her to get married. However, if she wanted to marry someone of the same status as her, this matter would be a stain that she could not clean off. Su Yu opened his mouth and apologized harshly, Housemaster Sha, I cannot agree to your proposal. Xian'er is my fiancée and I cannot let her down. Sha Jingyu's heart, which was in high spirits, gradually toned down upon hearing the rejection. She was worried that she would be married to Su Yu in this state of confusion. She did not know why, but after she was rejected, her heart was not as peaceful as she expected. Instead, she felt disappointed. He actually rejected her. It was difficult to ease Sha Lingxuan's rage. His beard and hair started to stand, and while biting his teeth, he uttered every word with a pause in between. Because of you, my daughter's good reputation is destroyed. If you are not going to marry her, then let me ask you, how are you going to compensate her? Su Yu was at a loss. After being startled for some time, he paid his respects and said sincerely, Housemaster Sha and Senior Sha, please give me some time to think. After the holy meet is over and after I settle my marriage matters with Xian'er, I will give both of you an explanation. Sha Lingxuan was boiling with rage. This matter could not be dragged on any longer. He couldn't tolerate that once they left, Su Yu decided not to answer for his actions. In the end, his daughter was soft and could not bear to force Su Yu to marry her. She persuaded, "Father, let's settle this matter after Su Yu has settled his marriage matters with Xian'er." Sha Lingxuan was extremely furious. Even though he was fighting for his daughter's rights, she went against him. "Su Yu, I will remember this. This matter is not over yet." Sha Lingxuan stormed off. Sha Lingxuan did not understand. The Duke of Shanyu had lost his power and influence, making it almost impossible for Su Yu to achieve anything big in the future. As for his daughter, she possessed good qualities and looks. Moreover, he himself was a martial artist at level 7 and could help Su Yu with his training in the future. Why was Su Yu still so persistent about marrying Qin Xian'er? When her father walked far away, Sha Jingyu said softly, "You do not need to take my father's words to heart. I do not need you to take responsibility for me, I only hope that you can take good care of Xian'er." Su Yu was moved but ashamed at the same time. "I am indebted to the Duke of Shanyu. Before he died, he entrusted his daughter to me. I cannot abandon Xian'er and stop caring about her. After everything is settled, I will give you an explanation." As she listened to Su Yu's difficulties, she realized that it was all because of his gratitude towards the Duke of Shanyu. The disappointment in her heart eased slightly and she started to sympathize with Su Yu. Everyone thought that Su Yu soared to the top with a flap of his wings. Who would have expected him to be caught in the imperial family's fight for power, and end up in dire straits? With a leisurely tone, Sha Jingyu said, "You can call me Jingyu. Can you tell me the situation with Xian'er?" Su Yu nodded. After 1 hour, Sha Jingyu was both gratified and worried. She was thankful that Qin Xian'er was safe and sound, and had escaped to the Fenghuang Empire. It was a very strong country, no weaker than the Fenghuang Empire. As such, the power of the Fenghuang Empire was unable to threaten Xian'er. However, she was worried that Su Yu was determined to participate in the holy meet for the sake of revenge. The chances of him getting to first place were slim. Not only that, he might end up in a perilous position. The imperial capital was the first prince's grand territory. After the holy meet had ended and the holy seal in between Su Yu's eyebrows disappeared, there would no longer any obstacles stopping the first prince from killing Su Yu. In a situation where the first prince activated all the strong martial artists in the imperial capital, even if Su Yu had achieved level 9, he would be full of despair. This meant that Su Yu would be fighting with his life on the line. If he could not attain the first position, then the only path remaining for him was death. Su Yu had also gotten a lot of information. He found out that on the day he escaped, the Duke of Shanyu was rescued by the third prince and did not die. However, he had lost one of his arms. That news had caused Su Yu to be over the moon. However, there was another piece of news that caused him to be completely at a loss. In view of the second prince being killed by the traitors, the Duke of Shanyu's charge had been decided. In 10 days' time, he would be executed. According to the time, Su Yu deduced that the 10th day would be the day when the holy meet ended. Su Yu did not have any extra time. That fact had caused Su Yu to be more determined to achieve first place in the holy meet. He had to achieve first position, otherwise the Duke of Shanyu would die. For the remaining days, let me duel with you so that we can learn from one another. I hope that this will help strengthen your abilities. Otherwise, at your current level, the chances of you getting into the top 30 are slim, not to mention first position. Sha Jingyu was moved by Su Yu's persistence and gratitude towards the Duke of Shanyu. Hence, she decided to support him with all her strength. Su Yu lightly shook his head. No. Why? Sha Jingyu lightly bit her lips. Su Yu said calmly, the first prince wants to get rid of me quickly. After I enter the imperial capital, he might send assassins to kill me secretly. If it is revealed that I am among you, he might kill all of you as well in order to cover up the truth. I cannot drag all of you down with me, Su Yu said slowly. The appearance of Bai Shishong had proven that Su Yu's words were real and not deliberately exaggerated. Even though Sha Jingyu understood, she could not hold her words in anymore and said, then what are you going to do? If we cannot protect you, then who else can? Su Yu was a poor village boy and the most powerful person he knew was the Duke of Shanyu alone. Sha Jingyu could not think of anyone else that Su Yu knew. There is one more person. Su Yu's eyes shone. The next morning, the Martial Arts Training Institute headed towards the imperial capital as if nothing had happened. Su Yu disguised himself as a servant and blended in with the crowd. As for the holy seal in between his eyebrows, he covered it secretly. After many warnings by Sha Lingxuan, the demon students pretended that they did not know a thing and slowly entered the imperial capital. Somewhere far away from the crowd, Bai Shishong and bodyguard Chen had been secretly observing them for a long time. Bodyguard Chen shook his head gently, seems that he is really not with them. We wasted our night. Bai Shishong was a bit furious. This crafty kid, seems like he had really escaped. We will return immediately and report back to the first prince. After entering the imperial capital, Su Yu stared at Sha Jingyu with mixed feelings. Sha Jingyu's snow-like eyes were trembling and she was at a loss. Feelings of grief were rolling about in her heart. In order to prevent anyone from noticing, Su Yu and Sha Jingyu did not bid each other farewell with words. Instead, they used their eyes to send each other off. That farewell might be forever. If Su Yu were unable to attain the holy crown, then it would be difficult for him to avoid death. Taking advantage of an opportunity when no one was looking, Su Yu entered an alley and disappeared. Sha Jingyu's shoulders were trembling and her heart was full of grief. Why? Do you need to torture yourself like this? Sha Lingxuan was a strong martial artist of level 7. As such, how could he not notice that Su Yu had left? He lightly patted her daughter's shoulders and sighed, you could have forced him to stay. Given that he values relationships and gratitude highly, if you had used death to threaten him, he would definitely have compromised and stayed. Sha Jingyu's eyes became complicated. Father, let him go. I do not wish to be like the heaven that binds him. The 10 demon students were moving towards their destination. The one leading them was an 18-year-old young man who was composed and had a very firm face. The muscles on his body were full of explosive power. As though he felt something, he turned back and managed to capture Su Yu disappearing into the alley. Xiao Li, is he Su Yu, the guy who had been driven away? The firm young man's eyes were filled with extreme anger. Silver-haired Xiao Li felt his anger and instantly knew the reason behind it. The firm young man was furious as his dream lover, Sha Jingyu, sacrificed her innocence in order to save Su Yu. Xiao Li had been defeated by Su Yu and he could not bring himself to forget that. As such, at that instant, he decided to embellish the story. HMPH. Yes, that's him. Once he managed to comprehend the holy decree, then he stopped paying attention to all of us. Big brother Zheng, you managed to comprehend the holy decree much earlier than him. What is Su Yu compared to you? He is just a small fry who managed to climb up the ranks from being a good-for-nothing silver student. He had better not come across me again. The firm young man clenched his fists. As his eyes swept past Sha Jingyu, who had a fairy-like figure, he was unable to stop himself from being infatuated with her. The arrogant and conceited Xiao Li respected and stood behind the man because he was the number 1 ranked demon student in the Shanyu Prefecture Training Institute, Zheng Yilin. He was the only demon student who had managed to comprehend the holy decree in the Martial Arts Training Institute. His level of abilities greatly surpassed the rest of the demon students of the same generation, causing him to be unmatched in the training institute. At the holy meet, he had the highest hope of achieving the holy crown. Xiao Li recognized the abilities of Su Yu. However, in front of Zheng Yilin, Su Yu probably could not last beyond his first attack. The third prince was born of a concubine. It was rumored that a few years back, the monarch messed around with his citizens, resulting in the birth of a boy who was later brought back into the imperial palace. It was a pity that in the palace, the third prince did not have any trusted aides. Even though he treated worthy citizens with respect, which gave him a good reputation among the citizens, why was it that he did not have the power to compete with his 2 older brothers for the throne? Even Duke Zhuxuan, who supported him on the surface, had his whole family beheaded by the third prince's 2 older brothers for the crime of conspiracy. As of then, there was only a small group of powerful parties who dared to support the third prince. All the ministers and generals, excluding those with moderate views, were all standing on the first prince's side. Having experienced the Duke of Shanyu's punishment, which was an example to others. The ministers and generals with moderate views had started to lean towards the first prince. With that, the first prince was awaiting the death of the monarch. With his death, the first prince would successfully become the Fengalan Empire's new monarch and he would be in control of the big empire from then on. The third prince had no intentions of fighting for the throne. Hence, he lived in the seclusion of the imperial palace to show that he was not seeking fame and wealth. Throughout the year, he quietly trained himself in the prince's palace and kept away from the world's affairs. On that day, a young man quietly stood outside the entrance. He was wearing a plaited bamboo hat and a palm bark rain cape. He had an indescribably handsome face. "Who are you?" The level 4 commander of the entrance guards questioned the young man vigilantly. The young man's deep and starry eyes shone brightly and he said, "The third prince wishes to meet me." He stuck his finger upwards near the middle of his eyebrows. His plaited bamboo hat was lifted up slightly and a holy seal shone for a second. The eyes of the commander of the entrance guards shone brightly and said in a low voice, "Wait here." After drinking a cup of tea, an old man wearing purple clothes came out of the entrance and surveyed Su Yu's whole body with an indifferent look. He stroked his beard, turned around and returned to the palace. Without turning his head back, he said, "Follow me." The old man brought Su Yu deep into the prince's palace immediately. There were birds singing, flowers giving off fragrance, and calmly flowing water. The palace was peaceful with an auspicious atmosphere. There was a magnificent pavilion standing tall and upright in the middle of a pond. Within the pavilion, there was a young man wearing a white shirt with long hair fluttering about randomly. He was holding an ancient book and was flipping through it quietly. He was scholarly and refined, with a peaceful expression. It was the third prince, who did not seek fame and wealth and was living in seclusion of the imperial palace. "Third prince, the person you wanted to meet has arrived." The old man stood with respect. The third prince raised his eyes. Even though his eyes looked dull, they were as deep as the sea and rays of wisdom would flash across them from time to time. "Su Yu, long time no see." The white-shirted young man was indeed the world-famous third prince. A laugh from him was like a breath of fresh air. Su Yu removed his plaited bamboo hat. With his eyes as calm as water, he said, "Third prince. I did not expect you to come to my palace." The third prince smiled indifferently and quietly surveyed Su Yu. Su Yu laughed indifferently, "I did not expect you to see me so easily either." The third prince shook his head gently and laughed as usual. However, his tone gradually became cold. "You are wrong. I allowed you to enter so that it would be impossible for you to escape. Do it." The third prince suddenly turned hostile. After a short while, 3 shadows who had been hiding for some time appeared from the pond surrounding the pavilion. 2 of them were at level 5 upper tier, while the remaining one was at level 5 peak. The 3 of them were holding a diamond steel net and struck at Su Yu abruptly. Given that they were so close to Su Yu, it was impossible for him to avoid the net. With the net so huge it could cover heaven, the 3 men managed to cover all the clear space around the pavilion, cutting off Su Yu's escape route. The net managed to cover Su Yu's head. At that moment, the 3 strong martial artists at level 5 subdued Su Yu so that he would be unable to move. Su Yu was unable to resist and said coldly, "Third prince, what is the meaning of this?" The third prince had a harsh expression. "You have killed my older brother, becoming a criminal to my family. Since you come here on your own accord, how can I not kill you? Take him away." Having walked right into the trap, Su Yu was escorted to the third prince's backyard. The third prince followed in anger so that he could personally interrogate him. The purple-clothed housekeeper's eyes shone as he bowed his head. After escorting Su Yu to the backyard, the level 5 peak commander who was leading the escort could not help but twitch his mouth and look down on Su Yu. "I heard that the Duke of Shanyu's son-in-law was very powerful and was even able to comprehend the holy decree. I did not expect him to be caught so easily. His name falls short of reality." However, an indifferent laughter could be heard. "Lin Xiao, you are wrong. He lives up to his name of being powerful and he deliberately got himself caught by you just now." The level 5 peak commander, Lin Xiao, was shocked. He deliberately got himself caught. As though Su Yu was replying to the indifferent laughter from the back, he shouted with a low voice, "Purple Star Thunderbolt." The violent thunder arc contained a breath of extermination. The air contained a burning smell. Both of his fists moved freely, emitting a thunder-like sound. The diamond steel net could not withstand the thunderbolt and was destroyed. The steel net was split open. With a shake of Su Yu's body, he escaped from the two hands holding onto his shoulder and managed to escape from the steel net easily. Lin Xiao was shocked. The diamond steel net was extremely hard. If anyone below level 5 got caught in it, they would be unable to escape. Not good. Capture him quickly. Lin Xiao was furious and he took action immediately. Stop. An order by an indifferent voice could be heard from behind Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao looked back, confused. Su Yu turned his body. With a calm expression, he stared at the person behind Lin Xiao and laughed lightly. Seems like I was not wrong. I am indeed the person that the third prince wants to meet. The third prince smiled indifferently, as though his extremely cold expression a few moments ago belonged to another person. His smile felt as though it was a breath of fresh air and the third prince was surprised. How could Brother Su tell that I was putting on a show and pretending to capture to you? Su Yu's eyes were clear and deep. The third prince needs me. He purposely captured me for someone else to see. I would guess that someone else is your housekeeper, the purple-clothed old man. The third prince's eyes shrunk and praised Su Yu. On that day at the Duke of Shanyu's palace, I felt that you were different from a normal person. I felt that you possessed great wisdom, and after what happened just now, it seems that I was right. That purple-clothed housekeeper of mine had been secretly bribed by the first prince to observe me. If he knew that I received you joyfully, my life would be turned upside down. If I offended you just now, I hope that you could look the other way. The third prince treated Su Yu with modesty. Su Yu's faces was full of admiration for the third prince. He had deduced that the third prince was very calculating and shrewd. After what had just happened, it seemed that Su Yu was right. Even though the third prince knew that the purple-clothed housekeeper had been bribed by the first prince to observe him secretly, he acted ignorant in order to find an opportunity to go against the first prince. He deliberately hid his capabilities and bided his time to confuse the first prince. In reality, he was secretly accumulating power and waiting for an opportunity to compete with the first prince for the throne. Lin Xiao could not believe his eyes. The third prince actually told that secret to Su Yu. Could it be that the third prince had an important role for Su Yu to play? A group of people entered the secret room. Lin Xiao did not move even half a step. He was determined to protect the third prince, and he did so by glaring vigilantly at Su Yu. Brother Su, you took huge risks to look for me, it cannot be just for the sake for an introduction, right? The third prince laughed elegantly. Su Yu drank a mouthful of tea and said, "Didn't I say before that you need me? I am here to help you. What can you help me with?" The third prince laughed indifferently as before. Su Yu's eyes shone. "Of course, to help you fight for the throne." Fight for the throne. 4 words. Su Yu said every word with a pause, making them so powerful they could shake the heavens. The 4 words shook heaven and earth, causing their situation to change. Lin Xiao's expression changed abruptly. A flash of agitation and murderous intent passed across his eyes. "How dare you say these kinds of treasonous words? Kneel down now and allow yourself to be captured." "Stop it!" the third prince shouted. His eyes gradually became narrower and he glared at Su Yu. "What are you saying, Brother Su? I do not understand." Su Yu smiled. "Both you and I understand. Since ancient times, a monarch built his success on the dead bodies of 10,000 soldiers during the fight for imperial power. After the first prince ascends the throne, you will be a big problem to him and he will get rid of you eventually. Given that you are extremely calculating and shrewd, I don't believe that you have not taken any precautions." The third prince stared at Su Yu for some time and laughed loudly. "Ha ha. Su Yu, you are good. I have made a wrong judgment of you, you are smarter than I thought. The Duke of Shanyu really found an impressive son-in-law." At that moment, the group of people gradually stopped laughing. The third prince laughed indifferently. "You are not wrong. I will not go down without a fight. However, what can you do to help me? If I wanted to, you would be unable to exit even half a step out of the prince's palace, not to mention go against my powerful older brother." Su Yu's eyes were unfathomable. With the help of the Holy King, all the imperial power that one possesses is as good as ants. The third prince's thoughts changed and his laughter gradually stiffened. You wish to participate in the holy meet and attain the first position so that you can get the Holy King to grant you one of your wishes. That's right, Su Yu said indifferently. On that day, I swore that if I don't kill the first prince in my lifetime, then I will never be a man. I will achieve the first position in the holy meet and ask for one wish. That is to kill the first prince. Su Yu could not suppress the hatred in his heart. Once the first prince dies, you will be the only prince left. If you are still unable to ascend to the throne, that means your abilities are questionable and you might as well give up on being the monarch. The people in the secret room were startled. Su Yu actually wanted to attain the first position in the holy meet, even though he knew that his efforts would be in vain. After hearing Su Yu's words, the third prince became silent for a moment. His bright eyes immediately became dim and he felt disappointed instantly. From talking to Su Yu just now, the third prince found out that Su Yu was very experienced at socializing and he had a clear insight of the world's affairs. This had made the third prince feel as though he had met someone who was on intimate terms with him by chance. However, after listening to what Su Yu said, he felt disappointed. Even though Su Yu was intelligent and powerful, he was too conceited. He had aimed very high, but if he fell, he would fall very low. He was arrogant and could not take setbacks. He would not be useful in an important role. At the holy meet, all the Empire's demon students were gathered. Every single one of them was brilliant among their generation. If they were placed anywhere in the Empire, they would be considered geniuses who shook the world. Even though Su Yu was powerful, it would be impossible for him to compete with them. As Lin Xiao could not hold back his laughter anymore, he laughed angrily. You are arrogant and ignorant. Even I cannot guarantee that I can get into the top 50 in the holy meet. What right do you think you have to get the crown? Su Yu had a calm expression and he said coldly, the reason is simple. It is because I am stronger than you. With just you. Lin Xiao laughed angrily. Then let me give it a try. Let me see how strong the Duke of Shanyu's son-in-law is. Lin Xiao's body turned into a black shadow that was shaped like a cheetah. The cheetah was vigorous, nimble and full of explosive power. Mountain-splitting hammer. Lin Xiao's body moved like a shadow. He clenched both his fists, held them above his head and attacked with a loud crash. A thick layer of green luster covered the whole hammer. The hammer looked as if it fell from the heavens, through vast and boundless deep space. Dim green luster followed behind the hammer and brought out shadow. The sound of sobbing could be heard as it lingered faintly in the air. The strong and powerful air in the atmosphere lifted the black hair hanging in front of Su Yu's forehead, revealing a pair of vast and starry eyes that seemed to shine forever like the stars in the sky. Su Yu revealed a cold expression and his silhouette turned to that of the wind. A moment ago, he was still sitting on the guest seat. The next moment, there was only a fragmentary shadow left. Purple Star Thunderbolt. Ever since he recovered from his injuries and his cultivation base achieved level 4 peak, his vital energy had increased, causing the power of Purple Star Thunderbolt to multiply. It was the same Purple Star Thunderbolt that once had difficulty defeating someone of level 5 peak. As of then, it was more than sufficient to defeat someone of level 5 peak. The thick and violent thunder arc was shining very brightly and sounded like thunder. Bang! Su Yu attacked straight on. A hammer and a punch were rumbling, resulting in the creation of fierce wind and powerful waves. The cold wind was willful and was blowing in all directions. The power of the hammer and punch were frightening. Both of them maintained their initial position when they collided, and none of them were being pushed back. Lin Xiao was surprised. He, who was at level 5 peak, had been successfully blocked by Su Yu. The third prince's dim eyes suddenly turned bright. On that day at the Duke of Shanyu's palace, when Su Yu was struck by the level 5 peak first prince's one-shot sure-kill attack, he suffered a fatal injury and almost died. After just a short while, he actually managed to be on par with someone of level 5 peak. Not bad. However, that was still too weak. Lin Xiao gradually withdrew his surprised look. How could he admit defeat in front of the third prince? Triple Earth-splitting pattern. Lin Xiao's momentum changed. Triple Earth-splitting pattern, the top medium-level cultivation technique. At that moment, the hammer descended from heaven, and as if it were a mountain falling from the starry sky, had a power that could smash mountains and rivers into pieces. The thick green luster had the shape of a flame which could burn through heaven. The frightening fist was shaped like a mountain and could extinguish a vast territory. At that moment, Su Yu's expression was as calm as water. The heavenly finger. Facing a strong and oppressive attack, Su Yu raised his finger high up into the sky. At that moment, his whole body was harmonizing with nature. It was as though he had become the person in the painting who had transcended into a greater entity, and did not belong to the human population. He struck his finger downwards. There wasn't any magnificent technique, any brilliance or dazzling posture. There was only an ordinary finger. However, that finger contained indescribable secrets. The pattern of the finger mesmerized the people. Lin Xiao felt an impressive force of nature coming towards him, without leaving him an escape route. In the dangerous situation, he switched to defense tactics. He felt severe pain from his arms. The invisible and impressive force had forced him to retreat backwards, causing his back to knock against a stone pillar. He tasted blood in his throat and Lin Xiao's expression changed. He had actually lost to Su Yu's counter-attack. The third prince's eyes were glowing with pride and happiness, so bright that nothing could compare to them. In just 10 days, Su Yu could actually match someone of level 5 peak. Lin Xiao was not satisfied and he made another move. That's it. You cannot win against Su Yu. The third prince gestured in admonition. Lin Xiao was not satisfied with returning back to the third prince's side, which made him uneasy. How was it, third prince? Do I have the rights to participate in the holy meet? The third prince raised his eyes and looked at Su Yu for the first time. Su Yu's deep and profound eyes, persistence and steadfastness had moved him. After muttering to himself for some time, the third prince looked as though he had made his decision and nodded his head. Good. I will make an additional bet on you. Additional. Su Yu looked pensive. I will help you attain the holy crown. If you succeed, you will help me ascend to the throne. The third prince said. Su Yu looked at him and nodded, of course. Lin Xiao, prepare the best training room, the best medicinal materials, the best teacher and the best training partner for Mr. Su immediately. The third prince was bolder than a normal person. He actually agreed to lend Su Yu a helping hand. Moreover, he had also provided Su Yu with the best resources. Bring out all the best resources in the prince's palace. If there are any things that Su Yu wants, you will bring all of them to him. If the prince's palace does not have it, you will go to the market to buy. If the market does not have it, send some men down to look for it in the capital. Do you understand? Lin Xiao was frightened. The third prince was going to entrust all his hope in Su Yu. As the third prince's trusted subordinate, Lin Xiao understood his situation. If he did not become the monarch, he would be killed by the first prince. He could understand if the third prince fought for any rays of hope. However, he could not understand why the third prince placed all his hopes on Su Yu, a young man whom he was not well acquainted with, and who had less than top-notch abilities. After a few hours, Su Yu shut himself out and started to train immediately. Lin Xiao returned back to the third prince's side to report to him after carrying out his tasks. He could not hide his puzzled expression. Master, do you really trust Su Yu that much? Please allow me to tell you the truth. Even though Su Yu's level of ability is above me, saying that he will achieve the crown at the holy meet sounds like an idiot spouting nonsense. Master, for you to put all your hopes on him, isn't it a bit careless? The third prince sighed softly, who said that I had placed all my hopes on him. Lin Xiao did not understand. Master, if so, then what are you trying to achieve by giving him the best resources? Those precious resources can be used to cultivate a few more secret bodyguards, and that is worth more than spending it on Su Yu. After all, spending all those resources on Su Yu is no different from achieving nothing in the end. The third prince laughed indifferently as he recalled his past. In my life, I have seen and met many people. I have many friends, but he is the only one on intimate terms with me. Lin Xiao was relieved. It turned out that the third prince and Su Yu regarded one another highly and treated each other with respect. Both of them were more intelligent than normal people, both of them had lives full of ups and downs, and both of them had reached a point in life where they had to make a huge decision. I do not expect him to repay me in any way. As for those resources, take it as a present from me, someone who is on intimate terms with him. If he attains the crown by luck, then all is good. If he fails to attain the crown, then so be it. For the upcoming holy meet, I have made other preparations, and that is my real chance to turn the tables. The third prince laughed in. After practicing for 10 days, Su Yu exhausted most of his vital energy. Looking at it from another perspective, there was a slight growth in him, and he was close to achieving level 5. The third prince had given Su Yu all his best resources, using all his power to help Su Yu train. Su Yu was close to achieving level 5. Feeling that the vital energy in his body was continuously expanding, Su Yu became very absorbed in his training. With his body shaking, the vital energy in Su Yu's body was at its maximum, as though it was trying to destroy the obstacle between level 4 peak and level 5. Half a day passed. Su Yu felt a noise ringing in his head. Immediately after that, he breathed a peculiar kind of air into his body. His vital energy had doubled. Su Yu had made a breakthrough to level 5 of the martial path. As Su Yu felt the abundance of vital energy of level 5, he found that it was twice as strong as that of a level 4. Su Yu then realized that for him to be able to defeat a level 5 even though he was level 4 was very impressive. If he had another duel with Lin Xiao, he was confident he could achieve a complete victory against Lin Xiao. However, Su Yu understood his situation. His level of abilities were not high enough. In fact, they were far from enough. It was nonsense for him to wish for the first position in the holy meet with his current level of abilities. There were still 3 days remaining before the holy meet, and in those 3 days, he needed to put in all his effort and train crazily. He had 3 objectives in his training. First, Tempest, a middle-level cultivation technique. It was only at stage 3 lower class, and there was still much room for improvement. Second, Purple Star Thunderbolt, a saint-level cultivation technique. It was only at entry level and had yet to achieve lower class. With every small bit of progress, its power would increase tremendously. Last, the Holy Decree. He was unable to measure how many layers he had comprehended. However, he would continue to observe its progress like before. With every small bit of the Holy Decree that he managed to comprehend, its power would increase by a layer. For the next 3 days, he would use space-time manipulation, and he would train crazily in a time flow that was 30 times faster than the normal world. With 3 days in that time flow, Su Yu would have a total of 99 days to train, which was equivalent to 3 full months. Time was tight. Su Yu closed his eyes and immediately started to train. In the first prince's palace, a pigeon delivered a message. Seeing the letter on the pigeon, the first prince's eyes turned cold and he emitted a deadly intent from his body. On the right side of his face, there was a long and hideous scar which looked like a centipede. He wore an eye patch on his right eye, and he had also become more cruel and ruthless compared to in the past. Good job, younger brother. Su Yu is actually in your hands. The first prince clenched his fist and was full of hatred. The death of the second prince and the pain from his disfigured face was deeply engraved into the first prince's heart and would not dissipate easily. As long as Su Yu was alive, he would continue to feel uneasy. However, Su Yu had entered the third prince's palace, making it impossible for the first prince to assassinate him. There were strong martial artists in the third prince's palace. Secretly assassinating Su Yu sounded like a whimsical story. If he was discovered and if the third prince used the opportunity to expose his plot to the whole world, then the sanctuary might send someone to kill him immediately. Before the holy meet ended, he could not make any reckless moves. Bai Shishong, dispatch an order down to the imperial capital's guards. Tell them to monitor the city strictly. After the holy meet, the whole city should keep a lookout for Su Yu. Once he is found, kill him on the spot. The first prince dispatched the order coldly. After the holy meet had ended and the holy seal had disappeared, he would kill Su Yu in front of the audience as there would not be any risks. Bai Shishong's body was filled with cold sweat. Su Yu had actually slipped into the imperial capital right under his eyes. Understood. I will do it immediately. Bai Shishong turned around hurriedly as he wanted to redeem himself for his mistake. Wait a moment. The first prince's face turned gloomy. Because of your incompetence, I might be exposed. Now, I will entrust one task to you. Bai Shishong kneeled down with agitation. I did not manage to fulfill the previous task, please punish me. There is no need for me to punish you as I had used you to help me kill Su Yu. There will be opportunities for you to redeem yourself in the future. Now, I want you to fulfill a task. The first prince said coldly, the task is to kill bodyguard Chen, whom you had worked with. When Bai Shishong and bodyguard Chen worked together to catch Su Yu, bodyguard Chen had seen Bai Shishong's true colors, and he knew that Bai Shishong was the first prince's subordinate. Yet, Su Yu was still alive. As a precaution, bodyguard Chen must be killed so that all the evidence could be destroyed. Understood. Bai Shishong wiped off his cold sweat. One more thing. Suddenly, the first prince said enigmatically, how is the progress on the cultivation technique I gave you going? Bai Shishong shivered with fear, took out a scroll and gave it to the first prince with both his hands. First prince, this is the most recent comprehension, please take a look. The first prince took the scroll. As he looked at the scroll, his eyes were burning brilliantly. Not bad, this is quite well done. Remember, do not spread the cultivation technique that you have seen before. Bai Shishong bowed his head and took his leave quickly. After Bai Shishong left, the first prince's eyes gradually turned cold. Master. The first prince shouted lightly and bowed. A red-robed old man with deep eyes descended from the rooftop as though he was a ghost. He was the first prince's martial path master, a frightening martial artist who was at level 7 peak of the martial path. The first prince handed the scroll over to the red-robed old man. The old man took a look at the scroll, which was Bai Shishong's comprehension of floating light shadow. His deep eyes shone brilliantly and he laughed with a satisfied look. Not bad, this is indeed the last part of the comprehension of floating light shadow, as expected of the holy talent who attained position 11 in the holy meet 50 years ago. He had actually managed to comprehend the saint-level cultivation technique kept by the imperial family to this level. The first prince laughed coldly. Bai Shishong might not know yet. The cultivation technique that I passed him is the cultivation technique that had been handed down through the imperial family, the saint-level cultivation technique floating light shadow. It is only possible for a holy genius like him, who attained position 11 in the holy meet, to comprehend it.